Hold on. There we go. Hello, fam. And it's been a week, and now we're going to do. I was thinking about it the other day. You know that family, whether we put femme et li, in what's that, and in French, or and in Latin. I don't even know. Then it'll be family.
Family.
Hello, work. How are you? How's things? I know that we've just been speaking, but not a lot. So, how's things with you?
I'm finally.
What's been happening?
Oh, that's too much to speak about.
That's what we're here for.
So, end story. Good evening, everybody. Day, wherever you are. And how was your week, Lee?
Okay. I don't know about you, but I find this week a little bit less dense. Now that I think may come across as, I don't know, because I know that other people have found it very dense. So, but this is interesting because we seem to go through waves differently. So what one feels, the other doesn't, and that's become quite obvious. But this week, I found personally that it's become less dense and less restrictive, and allowed for more, what's the word, integration. So I've seen with others that the limitations are coming up, but they're allowing them to be released very, very quickly as they're recognizing and realizing, or what I call reconciling, replacing energy with newer truths. So that's something that's unusual. I haven't really experienced this. I've normally found a lot more friction. So a lot more, what's the word, resistance to newer stuff. But this week, it's been different. It's been different, and that's been wonderful. So I've seen this kind of a felt a release. I don't know how to explain that. You can describe it to yourself, but it seems like the pressure's not so oppressive, released a little bit. And
because we had a lot of pressure before.
Yeah. We felt that
coming up.
We felt it coming in. But whether or not that's been released, and again, I look at a lot of what Rick says about Archimedes' screw, where you go up and come down a little bit, and then up higher and come down a little bit and up higher. So whether we've gone through that period of down and we're back on the way up to the next peak, I don't know. But it kind of resonates with what's been happening over the last 2 years, where that sort of limbo state, or that quiet state, or that darker state, or that more oppressive state, however you see it, again, this is all in perspective, releases, comes away, and then maybe comes back a little bit later, and it goes back into a little bit of limbo, and then releases and goes away. So again, I don't know. It's just from my journey and what I can talk to, that's what I kind of experienced, and it seems to be on the release again, which is always fun because things happen.
Yay.
Yeah, does that resonate with what you feel? Can you
I definitely feel more go easy
flow.
It's like after the hectic period where we speak about, like, I think 2 weeks ago, that it was so much
chaos,
low and chaos and all things coming up suddenly, and now it's like if you mastered that little things, or did it there, it's now like more open and clear. And
I know, having spoken to a few others, including yourselves, I know that there's collective transmuting going on. So I know that energies are hitting people for a day, maybe wiping them for a day, and they're coming from nowhere. So that's still ongoing, but not, it doesn't feel that way. So it's not, that again, that everybody feeling it's not right. There's some feeling this now and some aren't. And that flow has come back as opposed to the kind of thing. So again, that's just talking to a completely something that's not tangible, but trying to describe it in a way that becomes tangible.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this is that. Can we agree that this is happening? But we don't, because you can't put your finger on it. You can't say, right, there you go, look, this is what it is. It's more, this is what I can describe it as. And then does that resonate with somebody else or not? So this is what I'm finding.
Yeah.
It's I was talking to we were chatting about this last night. It's a little bit about truth. So we were just speaking about the media and the media representation of some things that are going on in the big bad world. Everybody knows the media lies, yet they hold on to media truth when it seems to suit a narrative. If the media lies, they don't tell the truth. So what do you believe they do in this situation, in this moment, when it's obvious they're not, because they lie about everything else? It's propaganda. So
it's a little tricky because the media is a little bit drip dropping the truth now. So oh,
that's their
but if
carrots.
you,
That's
yeah,
their
but you know, if you were conscious about it 2 years ago, that you knew what the whole virus thing was about, then you also know what's happening now there in the Ukraine, and that you know that mainstream is not telling you the truth, but that there's a beautiful story behind it, and soon we will, or the people who don't see it yet will see it soon, you know. So we have to go through it.
Yeah,
We know that's why we say we are on the front row line sitting and you know, like, can enjoy it or eat popcorn or whatever they say, but because we know exactly what's going on. But
it's the same thing where I don't know if we said this last week. I really can't remember what we did say, but it's the watching the show or thinking you're acting in it. So all of a sudden now you're an actor in the show and it's real. Of course it's not. If you're observing it and watching it, then you can see the script. But when you're in it, you're repeating the script that you're told to repeat. And of course that then changes your perspective. And there's a lot of people that will believe themselves to be the witness, the observer sitting in the seats, and then fall on a piece of information that they totally believe and become an actor and then defend it. They defend that information like it's real. And, you know, but you were sat in the seats a minute ago and now you're down there on the stage. Sit back up there. No. I'm in this. No, you're not. You're an observer. Go back. And that, you know, again, I find it funky. I find it funny. People come up with this story or that story. The media told me this and that and the other. That, you know, what? A minute ago, you were an observer and you recognized it ought to be a show. And now you're an actor playing in it and you recognize it to be real. Where does that join up? But those to me are dots that people don't put together yet. You know, they align it. The same as that V thing that you were just talking about. Completely gone now. Completely gone. It's all this. It's all this over there now. That's what you got to pay attention to. And okay, well, that means well, this was important, but now it's not. That is. Join the dots. Neither of them are important. It's just where you put the importance. But so again, this is what I've been, even that release. So what I'm saying is those what we would call mastery. People are the ones that I've met anyway, encountered actively want to master this. They want to. It's not fault finding in what they're saying. They enjoy the process of, oh shit, yeah, I said that and I didn't even mean it. That bit, and then they recognize it and reconcile it. Of course, before you speak must come the thought. So where's the thought? Well, in a lot of ways anyway at their level. So where's the thought coming from? Is it your highest thought, or is it another thought that's maybe a little bit lower? And is that what you're still holding on to, even though you know that? So as long as there's no fight, we can discuss all these things and we can have a little look at it and build on it and grow with it. That's what I've been feeling with that release, and that's really it's given me enthusiasm. And I thank the guys, Mike Dean last night, for coming around and having this play, having this game, having this journey of expansion and amplification, with the baseline being unlimiting your thoughts, unlimiting what can be. And all we did was agree on that baseline, so we can agree on the unlimited. Right, let's talk. And as soon as limitation comes up, let's have a look at where it's coming from. How simple is that? You know, it's kind of, but it really digs in. It does. It really digs in to, okay, you said that, so that means you're holding on to this truth at that level of consciousness, yet you know you're here. And that represents the actor, the observer and the actor. Mm-hmm. So you're dropping in, you know, but it's so different to each communication. What one holds on to, another one doesn't. But it's uncovering this, and I find, you know, how does that feel? I know you do it slightly different to me. So how does that resonate with you? How do you feel about what I just said?
Well, it's always nice when you speak with somebody who is not judging and holding space, and and are like the observer, so they know what's going on. So then you can have a free, flowing conversation or sharing with each other without any scissors on the line, because they have something going on still. It's just
Frictionless
yes.
flow.
Yeah.
and we've been talking to neutrality, and neutrality being the flow state where there's no scissors, as you call them, because it's neutral. And people are the ones I've spoken to have recognized now that, using the stream with a fast flowing stream metaphor, that the point of the most flow is the center of the stream where there's least friction. Of course, then you sit in the chaos on the outside and believe that's real. And of course it isn't. The most flows in the middle. But what we've seen is a lot of people that, again, this metaphor came in about fish still trying to swim upstream. So they're going the wrong way. And that's a judgment. Of course, they're not going the wrong way. They're going the right way because everybody's perfect. If you come back to your baseline, I don't judge anybody, but they're going the wrong way. Well, you just judged them. Come on, think about it. So are they going the wrong way, or are they burning off energy that's not needed down there? So as you're fighting the flow, then you're burning off energy that you don't maybe need where the flow goes to. So where the pool is at the bottom, if you like, where chaos doesn't exist, in that respect, or anti-logical thinking, so however you want to see these things.
It's simple. You just go inside.
Yes.
Just go inside, stay close to yourself.
And that's most flow.
Go in the flow.
Yeah. And then you choose. I mean, most people would say, I don't choose to be angry, yet live most of their lives angry. Or I don't choose to be tormented, but live their lives tormented. Well, if you're not choosing it, where's it coming from? So again, we can make that simple. It must be you choosing it by definition. Otherwise, you wouldn't be experiencing it unless you believe that everybody else is attacking you. And of course, that makes you a victim, and you can't be a victim because everything's for you, by you. These kind of concepts.
So you have to go back in you again to sort it out.
Yes. Yeah. Integrate, rationalize, reconcile, all of these different words people think about. But what we do, again, you can do it through feeling. I was talking with Dean last night. You can do it through feeling. So I don't like to feel this way. Fine. Change the feeling. You don't need to think about it. Just change the feeling.
Well, you have to be conscious of it. So you have to be, so when you feel it, be conscious that you feel it, then you can change it. But a lot of times you can also be feeling it, but they are not conscious of it. So you have to hold that mirror again and tell them, and then it's up to them if they're gonna look in the mirror and will do it, or they're gonna point to you again.
Yeah, your fault. You told me that. But that, again, that leads into blame. And as soon as there's friction. Okay.
But that's fine. But then you see what's going on, Sometimes I call myself the activator because I do that apparently with people.
That's that bluntness of the truth, purity. But if you hold on to a belief as yours, then you think that somebody's attacking you, and we're not. We're just, look, that's silly. Look, what you believe, you think this, and you're saying that. That's silly. Oh, you're attacking me. No, I'm not. I'm just pointing it out. That's all. And that's where.
Yeah, and if you feel being attacked, why do you feel being attacked? It's only like I'm speaking my truth, and if you feel something like feeling attacked or some other feelings come up, that's their things to look at. I'm just showing them by speaking my truth in love.
This is so, it's so, the strangest thing is how simple it is, and yet how complex it seems to be. And that, all I can put that down to is external, the external. I mean, externalizing everything as opposed to internalizing everything. For me, I said that the external reality is tedious. Oh, are you frustrated? No, I'm serene. I am at so much peace internally. I don't choose to exist in the external. It's chaos. It's not me. It can't be me. So I know where peace is. And if that becomes peaceful, then I'll enjoy that. But until it does, no. And okay, but that's what that is
Ali, I love you. I love you.
it's true, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But it's embodiment. So whatever, again, I'm not trying to say anything in any definitive way. It's just, it's walking the walk after talking the talk. So as you reconcile the information, you recognize what's really important, and you embody that, and you can't be any other way. Exactly. So where I don't want to be angry, but the outside is angry, so I don't want the outside. Then it's that simple. Yeah, but you've got to do this, that, and the other. No, you haven't. That's pseudo. That becomes, once you step into that, then you can't do that. But of course,
that's freedom.
Yes,
then you are free.
Absolutely.
It is embodied, so you don't. It's not.
It can't affect you anymore. The thought processes don't exist anymore because the knowing is there. So the reconciliation of the old truth, I need money. Do I need money? Why would I think I need money? Why am I even thinking about money? All of those thoughts are ridiculous. They're not mine. Boom. Now I don't need money. Okay. Now I can walk forward. This kind of thing. It sounds so simple, but of course, to actually walk it is a little bit different, especially when you look out there. So yes. then you realize out there just holds mistruths, untruths, misalignments, and all of these different things, which are all perfect, but not for me. Everybody else that wants to experience that perfect until you choose not to. Great, because I can choose to be just inside, internal, and whatever, and that's fine. But now, as we move through this, so we see the events on the lower timeline, and we can see them as happenings. We don't need to define them as good or bad. They're just a happening. So the next happening happens. Again, it sounds silly, but the next happening happens with neutrality. It's just a happening, and that leads to the next happening. Great. And in between,
somewhere I enjoy it, because it's like it's happening.
Yes.
We are also here to experience it all. If not, then I could sit under a tree in my I am space, and like if you but that's not why I'm here.
No, we were talking about
to experience things. Yeah,
we were talking about that, and I even got down to, there's nothing here I want to experience that involves that. So if I'm here to experience, this is another one for the universe. So, it depends on your baseline. Do you believe the universe provides for you, or do you believe you have to provide for yourself? Are you a soul, or are you not a soul? This kind of thing. So again, philosophical, it's up to the individual. Take it or leave it. So you run down a certain line of, no, the universe will provide for me. Okay, let's play with that. This experience is not what I want. Now, I don't know what I want, but you do. So provide it me. And I don't anticipate it or expect it, because I don't know what it is. Surprise me, universe. Surprise me with a different experience, because this, no. So if I'm here to experience.
But didn't you write it before you came? So is that then the moment that you let everything go and just, because in the beginning, when you go in the journey, you find out, hey, I am the this is my reality. I'm creating what I want to create, and that's happening. But there's that moment that you just step in the mission for me, and that you just let everything go, all the programs go to the zero, and just then go with the flow, and then divinely your higher self will bring you and to
happenings will happen.
What we came here to do. And that's so beautiful happening here also with the activations and what we are doing. It's like all connecting the dots. So you get invited, and then you connect the points, and you see that what's coming out with pyramids activating, and it's just one big puzzle, and all the pieces are coming, and another piece, and a lot of pieces that it's like, but there's Rick coming in because he is very good in putting the pieces together. And I'm like following and doing on the moment where when we are there, what to do or where to walk through. That is all without the consciousness, but guided by your higher self, connected to. But you have to be like really in that zero space and just follow, like walking.
Yeah.
Like we were in a place and then they were standing there and I suddenly start to walk to the left and then I feel like something there and I'm almost want to run. I don't know why, but that's the feeling. So I walk faster and I come, and then you see why, because there is another beautiful place where you have to come and activate, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
That's there's this we've been talking about it, is this force versus power. So pushing a ball up a hill or standing at the top and magnetizing it up. So when we're thinking, what's come across to me, and again, this is a broad sweep of a brush, it's not true in all respects, but when we think we have to do something, then there's force involved and we use energy to do it. When we flow with the happening, there's no energy used, it just happens. So of course, one uses energy and one amplifies it, if you like. One just is a happening and one's a creation, a thought process, a thinking I need to. Which one do you want to do? Again, this is just a conscious decision that everybody will make. Do I want to think I have to do things, or am I a human being as opposed to a human doing?
Well, you find out that if you have to do things or wanting to do things, that you are, like then you are stopping the flow.
Yeah.
So you have to take everything away, not even look forward where to go or what or nothing, just go in the now and just
do it, happen, whatever transpires.
Yeah, even that it sometimes doesn't even make sense. Even that will not come up. It's just
the answer is it's an interesting one, because the answers don't come until the question is asked. This is another one that's of those inversions. So we believe seeing is believing, and of course it's the other way around, it's believing is seeing, and the answers then come afterwards. So you have to say, people say leaps of faith and these things. It's not that. It's more, what happens if I do this? Without expectation that you're going to get an answer. And then what happens is a little bit later on, the answer comes, oh, that's what it was. Okay.
But even by thinking what happens when I do this, that's already like planning or thinking something.
What that does is releases the need to do it. So in my mind, it's releasing the expectation. It's just asking the question. Okay, that's appeared. I'll do that. I don't know why. I don't need to know why, but I do know that, having experienced this past, that the answer to why will come in later. Which
or a beautiful confirmation.
Yes, and that releases all the fear or the expectation or the angst. It just says, okay, yeah, I've done that before, it was fine, and the answer came later. Great. And then you rewrite that program, you rewrite that, no, I don't know, or the thoughts start to rewrite themselves. But by walking the walk, by not just saying these things, but actually enacting them, so embodying them and doing those things. So what you're saying, I felt to walk left, so I did. Nothing else. That's it. It's all you need. I don't know why, but I did.
It just happens. Yeah, it just happens.
Yeah. So it becomes a happening rather than a label, right?
Yes.
That was good, and this was bad, and that was excellent. I really enjoyed that. And all these labels put them into different boxes. And what we actually find out is, as you look back, if you can reflect on these things, that all of them are the same, experienced different ways. They all lead to out and back in again. They all lead to, oh, I see, from not seeing. Yeah, that kind of thing. It's kind of weird to put it into words, but I think you know what I
understand.
mean. Yeah. And
yes, because it's always when it happens, you always see why, because you get confirmations or another piece of the puzzle. And it's like, yeah.
Even if you're just moving pieces
just
around,
following. Yeah,
that's the beauty of it. So that's the frictionless. That's the okay. That's the anti, no, not the anti, but the anti-logic is, I need to know what's going to happen next, otherwise I won't do it.
Doesn't work anymore.
No, when you relax into it, I've got bigger bigger truth than that, then all of that's gone, and that just allows for movement. And that's so, yeah, again, all of these align to the same thing. It's just talking about the same thing from different areas and bringing it all to the one. So if we can all agree on one thing, then we can all see different perspectives as perfect. But
very simple, but not always easy.
no, that's what, but we'll see. And we've got, I don't know. I mean, yeah, we don't have these communication very often. I don't anyway, with open people that are open to develop these ideas. But that, I look at it micro macro. If I'm having a couple of these, then there's millions of people having these. Wonderful, you know, wonderful. So in whatever aspects or whatever ways they're doing it, they by definition must be. Otherwise, my truth isn't quite aligned. So be it. I'll find that out later, but I'm not going to limit it now. And that's that
Truth
again.
will always change. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
every
see.
layer of can change.
Can change, but what I've noticed a lot is perspectives become truth. So my truth is this and your truth is that, but they both align to this. We can both agree on this, but we argue about that. Let's not argue about this. Let's just talk about that.
Yeah, and yeah, that's your opinion. This is my opinion. Leave it by that.
Yeah. Once we agree with that, though, we can both see that they're right, and then we can have fun with them. But once we don't agree with that, then they're both, yeah, you see the point. I call it principle. Once we align to a principle is, for instance, let's talk openly. Are we a human being, or are we a soul having a human experience?
Soul.
Simple question. So we can agree that we're a soul. Is the soul source energy, or is it not source energy?
Source energy.
So we can agree that there's source energy. Is source energy infinite, or is it limited? Infinite. So we can agree. So we can agree that we're a soul of source energy that is infinite. Yes.
Yes.
So that's a baseline.
Are that the questions you ask when you start to have a conversation with somebody?
Kind of. I'll just open it up. It can be. It's not always that. It's not always
just
that.
Yeah.
But I'm just speaking openly. So what we've created now is a soul that's not human. So we're now an embodiment of energy, and we exist in infinity. So now we can talk to unlimited possibility, and we can talk to the infinite, which means that we're speaking like this with no limitation. Now, if we start to involve limitation in our conversation, we can ask where that's coming from. And this is all free flow then. Oh, you think that happenings, but you believe this, or why? I don't even know why I said that. I think I tried to think. Why would you try to think? And these sort of things come up because if we believe that, then why are we trying to think? And it becomes fun.
I know it goes. You like that, Ellie? You like that?
It becomes.
My goodness.
No, I know, and this is where it's so funky because I love what you do, you know, because that's not what I do. And isn't that the beauty of all of these things? Isn't that the beauty? But we can agree.
That's why you and Rick speak for hours daily because of this. And sometimes I just have to walk away because it's like, come on, keep it simple. You know?
But isn't that the simple? I mean, for me, that's simple. But for others, that's really complicated. And okay, so be it. But if it's really complicated to you, then do it through feelings or do it through different ways. But it's what it is the same agreement.
It's on the end all the same.
Yes, yes. So that's the other beauty of it. Once you recognize that it all boils down to the same thing.
Yeah, but it's like you or you speaking or others, they want to all resonate it or like, I don't even know how to explain it. You know, for me, is always just here. And that was always a thing when people ask me, do you believe this? I said, no, I don't believe it. I know it, you know, it's an inner knowing. And then they start questioning like specific things because they research in books and read books. And then I'm getting like, you know, that's not my way of communicating or explaining.
But they want to know by confirmation. They want to see what you know. And of course, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous because they haven't embodied it themselves.
Exactly. So that's like book knowledge. And I didn't understand it in the past because I was like, they're speaking, so the knowledge is coming out, but there's like, I call it again, like a scissor on the line. So what is it? Yeah, book knowledge, because they know it, but it's not embodied.
Yes.
And I think with the most feminine of with the heart, it's in the heart. So it's a knowing. And then actually you have to, now I'm not going to read books because,
You don't need to.
or no, because when you read it, you read it and you know it already what you read. It's that inner knowing already, but it's only the way to explain it, I guess, or, you know, with.
Yeah, people get, what I've noticed is people get too tied down in trying to describe something that they can't explain. So people want you to explain a knowing, and a knowing is an embodiment of your truth. It's your purity. So you can't explain it. You can just describe it to them in words they may be able to perceive, and that's all. So
That's already our whole mission. Yeah.
Yeah. And this
find
is
the right words to explain what you are like feeling or so linear, the language, there are almost no words for it.
It can only be words developed for, this is why I speak to one-on-one. It makes it easier because it's words developed for that one. So you pick out the description, the best description, analogy, whatever you can try to do to give a sense of knowing to the other. They want to see to believe. And of course, what we've just been talking about is believing to see. So you you follow the knowing without the thinking, and that's believing. And then you see.
It's not a believing, it's knowing.
No,
believing is like I believe, but knowing it's a knowing. There's no belief anymore. It's just a knowing.
In what I was talking to was the analogy of, or the analogy of seeing is believing and believing is seeing. So the knowing becomes I know, and then I will see. You know, I use the word belief. It's only in that analogy. So
yeah, the word belief, there's a moment you take it out.
Yes.
Because belief is like,
external. Belief is external knowledge. It's intelligence that hasn't been transferred to wisdom. So wisdom is knowing for me. But wisdom is the intelligence, the intellect, the knowledge.
And then it embodies.
Having been experienced. So
not yet. Yeah.
So the knowledge by itself is just intelligence. It's just thoughts. It's just like you say, book words. That's knowledge. But the experience of using that knowledge is the embodiment, and that creates the wisdom. So the knowing, and that becomes then once what's seen cannot be unseen. So once you have the knowing, there's no way you can go back. But until you embody the knowing, then you have beliefs, and you look for somebody to confirm it to you. But you're missing all the confirmations that are coming to you from the inside. You're looking for the external to enhance your belief.
Beautiful explained. Yeah.
If that makes sense, you know. But
absolutely.
But once it becomes a knowing, then you don't need confirmation. You don't need to question another. You just know. And again, it's really, you know, two beautiful different ways. One, I describe things. I try to explain things, nuts and bolts, right down and dig in. And you do it through a beautiful, heartfelt feeling. They're just a knowing.
Yeah, sometimes I wished I could like speak and explain it like you know, because it would make it much easier for some people who you want to give in the past. For now, it's fine, but you know,
yeah, maybe. But of course, with explaining it, then you get bogged down in quagmire. You get bogged down in syrup, where people then have a different perspective, or they come back at you with this. You're trying to describe that, but I think it's this, and it can open. I
don't go there.
No, that's the downside, or it's a blessing and a curse, and it's not. But you know, it could be seen that way. The downside is when you try to explain something, then you get bogged down in the pedantic. If you just sit with the knowing of it and you're just flowing with that, then you don't. So sometimes I wish I couldn't explain things, you know. So it's the other way.
I understand that, yeah.
But that's the duplicity, and that's the experience, and that's through, again, if you don't get what you want, you get experience.
Yeah.
So you know, so everything being an experience, everything is a happening. Then you rewrite your happenings. So now for instance, you know, my rules are, I would like my happenings from now on to be frictionless. It doesn't matter, but that's not thinking, it's just knowing. It's a waste of my energy. It needs to be frictionless from now on. So that's my new rules. Universe, play with those and see what happens. If friction turns up, so be it. It's an experience. It's another happening. Now I can choose in it what to do. But it's not my experience, because my experience is frictionless. So this is something that's happening that's not really mine, but okay, let's see what transpires. Again, no anticipation, no expectation, just flow.
Go in the flow.
It seems, that's what I can say is probably the easiest way of explaining what's happened over the last 2 years or year on reflection. That moving in and out of these phases, these waves of squashed, expansion or rarefaction, contraction, compression, whatever they're called, where it seems to do this. And these points give bigger, and then they come in. So as we go out, it becomes complex, and then it becomes simple again. Complex and simple again. Complex and
complex. We make it smaller. Complex. The complex. In the past maybe it was big, but we're gonna, and then complex, simple is gonna get.
Yes, but it seems to be getting a lot quicker. So where before it was taking a while to go through these phases, now it's boom, 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 and even they're being jumped as quicker ways through it, more defined ways through from this to that. If you can recognize that, then you haven't got to do this. I get it, and it's just swinging forwards. So that's something that I can say that it's been recognized. I've seen that over the last period where that's progressing forward quicker. And I don't know if this resonates with others. We'll see. If anybody watches this, we'll see. but I know that it seems to be resonant with us, with our chats, with Rick chat, and with others. Things are being accepted much more quicker. They're progressing much quicker. They're easier to flow at that level. As you drop, as I would say, drop, and it's not in levels. I don't speak to levels. I just speak to consciousness. But as you come down a little bit, then you still encounter that bump, that blockage, that no. Okay, I see where you are. I recognize that. It's not where I want to be. You keep swimming upstream and burn off that energy. And then when that energy is gone, burn off. It's not, you know what I mean by it. When that energy is gone, then we can talk. So there's no time. Time becomes irrelevant now. There's no need. There's no want. It's just, okay. And that must be peace.
Freedom. Yeah, it is.
I find it fascinating. Again, I do the bolts, nuts and bolts, but I still feel, this is the difference. The feelings are always there. So I resonate totally with the feelings. I just put them into words. So
perfect.
That's quite a good one. We've probably gone into depth a little bit. What else has happened? I mean, we've got stuff going on in the lower, but have we covered most of that? We covered the fact it's pretty much all lies, and that the truth is there, but you've got to look at the inversion of what the lies are.
Well, they're playing the movie very good. So yes, it's hard for some people to
step out of it.
You really need to know, and you really need to be the observer. If you're not, then
it's dragging you in, isn't it? It's like immersive.
Yeah.
Once you're the observer, it's not immersive. We've been waiting for this for so long. It's like, Jesus,
man.
Thank you at last. Yeah. But to a lot of others, what?
Yes, it was something you informed in the beginning, already, you tried to inform your loved ones with it, and it didn't come, and they thought you were even more kukulukku, and now it's coming, and it's
I don't know, is it enough? No, I don't know. We'll see. I've spoken a lot to a paradigm shift for the masses. Is there enough yet? There's enough.
No.
There's enough to join the dots.
But still not. They still think this is real. This is real what's going on. Yeah. So, but there is that moment that it switched and the truth will in their face. And
I believe that, that's what I think.
This is just part of it.
It's inevitable. So they're being drawn in, and then it's all going to go, poof. Okay. And that releases the paradigm then, and all of a sudden the belief systems have changed and it's all being questioned. Excellent, because that's the point of then growth. A lot of people are looking.
They have to go deep down, like we did it, like stepwise. I guess they don't want to by themselves, so they have to go forced almost.
Yeah,
And like like that's why they call it, I guess, scary necessary event, because they have to dip down and feel the fear, and out of the fear they have to go inside, because everything outside is gone, so they have to go inside,
that's
the
what
ones
makes
who
perfect logic.
choose.
It makes perfect. Well,
And then,
I don't think you got a choice in this one now.
well, it depends on the soul, the choice of the soul, if they're gonna go with it, or what they signed up for. But it's like that for them, they get forced in a scary thing, because they are not conscious of what's going on. Even there's a lot of truth out there, and people try to give them the truth, but they have to just go.
Release. Well, they
Yeah,
go.
I guess in fear, and realize that everything that they believed is crumbling down. So the only way, as we know, is inside. So when you are there and outside is nothing anymore, or you don't, you have to go inside, and that's where it starts, and that's where they.
But that's where growth starts. That's the beauty. That's when.
Yes.
That's the. It's not scary. It's only scary in the perspective of the one that's doing it. But it's fear. The fear is overcome so quickly once you allow the growth. But it's the holding on to the belief. This belief is mine and it keeps me safe. Right. And that's where the fear comes from. This is mine. It keeps me safe. It's lies. It can't be lies. It's true.
If that's mine, and the lies will be shown that it is in their face.
Yes.
And there is no other way, then
you have to release it. It's an anchor. You have to release your beliefs. They're lies. They're somebody else's. They're somebody else's story. They're not yours. They're not
and
real.
Like we did it all in a journey, like we went through all that dark truth step by step, so to say.
But that's not what I don't anticipate. Again, I don't anticipate what was being what will be. So there's no reason to say it's going to take people a long time to go through step by step.
Fast.
This sort of thing.
That's why for them it's like boom. They have to go boom inside. And
so again, we can look at
where it starts.
Was it a curse to wake up earlier and then have to go through this prolonged period of time, or is it? Again, we can look at all of these things so much differently when we start to philosophize. It's not a curse.
I didn't want to miss this for no. This is just no. We choose for this. We are made for this. We are chosen to do this for this. So no, I say
I'm the same.
This is just sometimes when it's like really, how you say it, funky, then I think my, but always having the conscious about it. This is the time. This is the most beautiful, special time ever was on this little planet.
You've embodied that. You've embodied that truth. So that's your basis to everything, and that's why it's pure. You've embodied that truth, and that's your basis. Of course, those that haven't yet, they may talk to a truth that is real, but they haven't embodied it, so the beliefs still sit there, and they're my precious. Of course, that's not true. That's not real.
No, but maybe that's also a phase in their consciousness.
We did the same. We did
exactly.
The same.
So that's why we can hold space in love for them, because we step through it, so we can see where they are, and just even that you out of love wanted to go a little bit faster, but that's the healthy good ego.
Yeah, but again, you can look at that as I want to go faster, but that's not recognizing you're perfect in the moment. These sort of things, again, you can come back down to the same point. Why do I want to go faster? This is perfect as it is. It's only the thoughts, the thinking.
Yes, because and that's then the healthy ego speaking here. Is just, I just want everybody.
Yeah, end this.
Yeah, awake, and that we can just live all together in love and harmony. How,
how you want to be inside, outside. This is the thing. So reality wants, I want that internally. I want peace, love, harmony internally.
Yeah, well, that's here now, and it's nice when you are, yeah.
So let's see it reflected in the outside, of course. And I would suggest that 99.9% of everybody else wants the same thing. Yet we argue about that because we're holding on to this limitations. And of course, that's not real. And this is real. So once we can agree on this, then we can release all of that. And that just,
yeah, but that's the level of the consciousness
yes,
again, you know, because they
that's,
all want it, but they don't have the conscious yet to see or feel how it's possible. Well, it is possible. It's the same with the GPMS, you know. It's a lot of people are like, but how, where's the money come from, and who is, you know, like
all limited
all the
thinking.
programs, limited thinking. But if how up you go in the conscious, let's say up, you know, how wider, how more, then you see that you created yourself.
Yes. And but that's simple. It's too simple. It must be complicated, fam. It's got to be
So
complicated.
you have to take all that.
Shed.
And that's not, yeah, and that's like the knowing can even know that, but you still also have to feel it.
Yes.
Embody it, because even by knowing, you have to still go through all that.
There's this there's a truth that, again, I use the words, it can be no other way. So as you embody it, then you start to recognize it can be no other way. It doesn't need questioning, it just is. And that's the knowing. Then once you, and that's through confirmation maybe, but of course we look for external confirmation as opposed to internal. We miss a lot of the confirmations that are given to us. But as you watch them and integrate them and recognize them, not looking out there, but just seeing what's happening, then the confirmations come, they bolt onto your truth, and the knowing comes. It's just like that, you know. People, they'll recognize, and I've talked to a few, they'll recognize in their past, I did this and it led to that. Okay. And then I did that again and it led to the same thing. Okay. But it won't this time. Why not? Why not? Well, you know, you've got experience, but you're ignoring that and you're thinking limitation now when you know it didn't happen then. Look back.
Yeah, what about all the beautiful confirmation of white feathers and numbers, and you know, in the beginning that you are
Yeah,
just when it comes in your awareness, and then it starts to happen, and then you look and hear the numbers and then here, and it's like, no, yes, it's real. It's like, and that building up, that knowing that there is more, you know, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and
it's not just coincidence, it's synchronicity.
no.
So in moments we sit there and we say, I can see that, I can see that, I can see that. And then in another moment, we forget all that and we think limited. And of course that doesn't align. It's not rationalized. It's not integrated. It's, I know that, but I'm thinking
not time yet.
That's fine. You can see the kind of, it's not, I can't describe it because you almost put a fakeness in there, and it's not, it's very real. Because we've all experienced the same things, you know. We're just talking about what we've experienced, not reaching for stuff that's out there that isn't. So we've all experienced the same things, and I know that I did the same thing. I've had all that confirmation and then forget it in the moment, and now I'm in limitation. Of course, then you align those two and you realize, then you flow through that moment without the limitation.
Yes,
that's the process, or that's a process that I can speak to.
Exactly. And that's, yeah, and also that is fine, you know, when it happens, when you get a, you know, that's also, it's all fine wherever you are now. Everything is perfectly fine, you know, because it will happen anyway. It will come, but just follow it.
That's another beautiful thing when you start to rationalize this, is inevitability. It becomes, it can be no other way, therefore it is inevitable. There's no thinking involved. It just will happen. Right.
Yes.
So everybody, it's inevitable that you will get to a certain consciousness and that will release the old. It's inevitable. So there's no time now. We don't need to worry about judging or comparing or this, that, and the other, or labeling. So your level of consciousness is recognized. It's not a comparison. It's just seen. It just is. And you will be. It becomes that. It becomes that. And again, you release. And this is the shedding. This is the rationale, the reconciliation. Right. I recognize those confirmations and they must be true now as they were then. No thought. Rational. Walk in it. Embodiment. However, again, people can describe it in so many different ways, and they all mean the same thing. They're not different to each other.
No, and also important, the wanting, because I also remember, you know, when you finding out that everything is coming and, you know, you want to experience more, but then you block your flow. So take the wanting away and just stay close to yourself and flow in your flow. No, take the wanting away. Sometimes don't think nothing of it, you know, otherwise it can be a distraction. Just stay straight and just flow in the now.
I mean, like, the wanting thing is it's funky. I use the word funky because we catch ourselves wanting, and it's, do we question the want? If I want something, it means I haven't got it. If you know you have got it, so you can't want it. Okay, that seems weird, but okay, let's walk with that. Let's see what that works like. And then you'll come up with another want, and you think, no, I don't need to want anything, because that means I haven't got it, and I'm not thankful for already having it, which means it won't manifest. I'm putting in, all of these different concepts that come in as process. Okay, what am I doing? And it's questioning that fundamental. This is why I say the question is more important than the answer. What am I doing? As opposed to, why am I doing it? No, what am I doing? I don't need to know. I'm just questioning, what am I doing? Leave it then. And you move to the next thing. What did I say that? Oh, I move on. It doesn't, none of this needs to be difficult or angry or angsty or any of those things. It's just, what am I thinking? Of course, why am I thinking is a better thing. Why am I thinking? Again, you can see the fun, right? Even though it's
oh my.
It's playing with it. It's playing with it in the moment. It's playing with it with joy, with innocence. Normally when you don't question, why am I thinking? Because thinking is necessary, and then you're sort of questioning that fundamental.
Well, thinking is not thinking. You are not your thoughts anyway, so thinking is not even necessary.
No. Well, again, you can. This is the fun about talking to these things from experience. We know that thinking is not necessary, yet we still think. So there's something in there that happens. It's
because yes, but there's that moment again that you are conscious about what you are thinking.
Meticulous. Of course, before the word comes the thought, because before the thought comes the feeling. Kind of, unless you're denying or suppressing the feeling and just thinking. When you're just thinking, it seems to be coming from a place of intelligence, book smart. It's not embodied. So you may come out as very, very knowing, but really you don't. You're just thinking it. But when it comes from a place of knowing, feeling, then it resonates. It just resonates with everybody because they can experience it too. They know it. It's no longer intelligent book smarts. It's, oh, he's better than, no, I resonate with that in my own way. In my own way. I see that experience, but I felt it slightly differently. Great. Because it's the same. It's just your way of experiencing it. And there's the beauty. And this is where everything becomes perfect, if you like. You just see the perfection in everything because you just recognize it all as perfect. And it again sounds like woo-woo stuff out there, but it's not. It's tangible, it's experiential, it's what's happened. Just, I've spent a lot of time in there and in here on my own because I've chosen to be questioning all of this. It seemed prudent. We'll see.
But were you questioning?
To rationalize.
What you are experiencing here.
Yes. How do I better explain this to others? But I don't need to do that. It seems fun.
Because then you use your thoughts to explain what you're feeling.
Yes, not
instead
thinking.
Of just, no, exactly. Instead of like speaking just whatever comes out without.
That happens a lot. I must admit, last night I spent 12 plus hours doing this, and a lot of it is flow. But what happens is I found I've tried to put in analogies that the other can see what the meaning of the feeling is. So it's not so much thinking it, it's trying to paint a picture around it. So
you're on your way to explain it, and that's where you are so good in, because well, I know what you mean.
It's not, so I'm not thinking necessarily, I'm just trying to, this is what it is. You
are thinking how you can explain what you are feeling or saying or experiencing. You are thinking how to explain it in a language for them. So they maybe understand it more.
So they can paint their own picture and see their own dots and see that, oh yeah, that makes some sense. But that only then becomes intelligence for them until they embody it. So then they need to rush, so you've got a picture there, but it makes some sense to you, but you're not walking that picture. It might It might be, yes, that's real, that's really true, but then you've got to embody it and rationalize it yourself. So then you take it and you make your own story, you paint your own picture, you describe it to yourself, you start to flow with it yourself, and it's not my story, then it's yours. I've just painted, or some, people get visions, images. I get the same kind of things, but they're more abstract. So it's, oh, that just popped in. Let me try to explain that in this feeling. It's kind of strange, but in the moment, that's what happens. So there you go. Does that picture align with what you're seeing? No. What do you see then? I see this. Oh, that right. Well, that bit fits there. And then we can play, because there's friction free. It's just expansion upon a concept. So this is what I've been having fun with. And we do this anyway. We play these games, and to me it feels like a game. It's like it's a puzzle. It break it all down. Let's find the picture so we can put the pieces in. Because I know you've got pieces and I've got some pieces. I don't consider I've got all the pieces. I've got one.
No,
you've got
just
one.
Roll. Let's see whatever it goes and whatever happens. Yeah.
And what I'm looking, people say, I've got nothing to look forward to because the experiences here aren't mine yet. So I look forward to maybe exploring more of this with other people to find more pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes the cryptic puzzle more evident. Oh, I see, that goes there. And of course, finding pieces then becomes a little bit of joy. You get a little bit of excitement. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Well, that's great. That goes in there. Now we can see a bigger picture. And of course, once that picture's finished, then you move on to the next picture. It seems to be like levels, So it's constantly increasing with a bit of fun, a bit of excitement, more coming in, less pressure. And these sort of things all align to the one thing: growth. It's purity, it's transparency, it's all of the things we speak to. It all aligns to that one infinite soul, energy, source, expansion, growth on energy, amplification, all of these same words people use in different ways, but they all mean the same thing. So let's agree on the definition and then speak about the fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, it's a little bit of Lee's head coming out here.
I was thinking, what I said before, it's like that you also can choose on which where you want to be,
Yes.
like our level of conscious level. I call it level of consciousness, or with timeline. It's like sometimes I just, because it's embodied, I just want to stay in the I am, and I just zoom in there.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Do you find that's got anything to do with the pressure on the outside?
No, I choose for it.
Yeah.
I just go whenever I want. Yes.
So when there's no pressure, do you choose to be in the I am?
I choose whenever I want.
Okay.
If I feel, but I also can choose to observe the lower timeline and just, can I say, enjoy it? Like just see that it's finally happening, that it's finally you-hoo on that side. Yeah, I can choose for that, and I can also choose to not do it, or to just go in the woods and just go inside. It's like I'm not gonna 24/7 every day stay in the I am in under the tree. I like to experience things. I like to also having fun and just like different.
Yeah. Dean was saying to me last night, he said, I enjoy dancing. He said, I said, I don't. Oh, you must dance. He said, it's you get into hang on.
Lee.
You get into the flow moment. He said, it's so freeing. It's so enjoyable. And I said, well, okay, but I get that same feeling by breaking down and having fun with mental imagery of maps of what can be happening. So you're dancing on the dance floor, that frees you and you get an enjoyment out of it. I get the same by doing this. Now, for you, that won't make any sense. because you've got to be moving your body, you've got to be doing this, and there's got to be a beat. But that's because you've pinned an emotion of pleasure to the dance. That emotion of pleasure I still get from the other way.
Yeah.
Again,
Lee,
really strange.
listen, Lee. Why did you ever dance?
I don't dance. I don't have that. No,
Okay.
we're not going into this.
No. Yeah. So, Lee, is there something with the dancing? Because I recognize this. Is there something with dancing that there is like an insecurity about how to move, that you think maybe I'd move different, or I can't even move, or what's behind that?
I've tried dancing. I'm not worried about judgment in the slightest. I don't feel that. There's no freedom in movement. It's all forced. It's all thought about. Now, you could say, well, if you tried it long enough, you get the freedom of movement. No, I've tried
where
it.
Where is that limit? That what you are just explaining, where's that coming from?
It's limited.
That's in your body.
Yeah, probably. So it's not something I necessarily enjoy. It's a bit like, I don't know, there's lots of things that I've experienced it. It's not something I really enjoy. I don't get the pleasure out of it. Others do. That's fine. That's fine. If that changes in the future, so be it. But it's not something that I look to as something I need to do. So again, it doesn't bother me. I've tried it. It doesn't. No, it's not something that's really for me. You move beautifully. It's like playing the piano. I've tried it. A lot of it was forced. It didn't feel
natural,
organic.
Yeah, well,
natural.
Why I'm asking is because I recognize it in myself. Because of in the old days, you go. I like in the old party dancing, but I always had then like a drink to get through that. Yeah, that's like insecurity, I guess, or the movements that you have to make there. I don't know. Well, I know, but then later, like actually a few months ago, when after I left to Egypt, there was a party and there was music, and then I really felt to dance when I was standing there dancing without having
a drink.
Yeah, to get over that, to move more freely. So that was a little bit of a thing. So I was standing there, but then I just had to change something, and just
go with it.
Because I was conscious of it. It was like, come on, man, if I have a drink or another drink, just move. I had to go through it, and then I let it go, and I danced. And the DJ that evening was just perfect, because for me, I need the perfect music, like music that your body almost starts already by itself. And then it was just going out of, it was beautiful till he started to play another song. And then I started again to make forced, like different movements, because it was not organic anymore. And then I left. So it's so important what kind of music, where you resonate with. The moment they can play music, I just stand up and start to move, because I can't stop, but if it's like music,
if the music's good, if the music's good, I'll give you this. If the music's good, every now and then I'll tap my foot.
Oh wow.
Right, so that's about as much beat as I've got.
Yeah.
So it's experience. Again, I look at this as experience. It's fine, that's just, there's no right or wrong in it. You don't need to dance if you choose to.
No. Yes.
It's so again, it's defining an experience. Dance is pleasurable. Okay, well, so is thinking. Well, thinking's not. Yes, it is to me. Dance isn't to me, but I accepted dance is pleasurable to you, but you don't accept thinking is pleasurable to me. Okay, come on. You can't see the two having the same sort of experience. We're just pinning a label on the experience. Dance is pleasurable, thinking isn't. Well, you're putting two boxes to the same thing. And that's the way I look at a lot of these things. So what you take pleasure out of, what you experience, is what you experience. Don't deny what I do, and just accept. So I see the beauty in somebody that can move to the music, and I don't feel awe or any of these things. I just see the beauty in that.
Yeah.
It's what you do. Wonderful. I don't do that. We had a chat the other day. A beautiful feminine was talking about dancing with the dragons and shape-shifting into clouds and being this and being that and being the other. Beautiful. It's not what I do. You fly. You do that stuff, and I'll do this stuff. I see the beauty in that. Can you see the beauty in this? Well,
It's all good. Everything is perfectly fine.
But I think as we progress forward, in my mind, you know, I know as we progress forward that all of these will combine into one. So your experience now and your experience now will be later embodied by higher consciousness that enables or encompasses all of those experiences. So you're a mirror of me, you're doing that, and I'm doing this. Well, that's perfect, because that's not what I do. And you know, but ultimately it will be.
I could say, I actually, you are me and I am you.
Yeah. So you can dance and I can think.
I love you, Lee.
I love you too.
Well, I think this was a beautiful, beautiful sharing space with the family.
Family. It's been fabulous. And we dug into some funky things, and we'll see what happens with it. I'm going to put this up because it's been fun. And we've touched on so much, and from a knowing base, it's so fabulous to discuss these things that may or may not help others. We'll see, but we know them to be true, right? We don't even need to think about this stuff. It just is. And I would leave that with that. It's not copium or hopium, these fake words that people are coming out with. When you know, you know. There is no hope or cope or things like that. It just is. It's undeniable. It's inevitable. It can be no other way. And that's love, you know. That's just the beauty of truth and transparency and harmony, you know, however you see these things and describe them. So
when you feel it, you know, then you know. If you don't know it yet, then it's very
chaos.
Yeah, then it's to explain that, you know. So you just have to hold space and
it's layers.
Wait. Yeah,
and each unknowing brings a little bit of fear. As you embody it, the fear goes away, and you can recognize that many times prior, and it's the same now. So there's no fear, just embodiment and flow.
Yeah, because fear, you know, when I started to look at the fears, you know, like just instead of pushing them away and run away from them, you know, like what people can do, they just drink it away or smoke it away or just run away from it. But the moment when you realize that you only have to look at it, just look at it, just go inside and feel where the fear is and just feel it, and just even start speaking out. So hello, what are you going to comment? What are you telling me? Yeah,
hello old friend. Hello old friend.
It's gone.
Yeah. Hello old friend. What do you?
Yeah, well,
no.
The fears are, it's yeah. No fear and full trust.
Yeah, it's funky, and people will recognize they've done it themselves, and they forget whatever. You know, as you start to remember, as you start to embody, then you start to realize, and the noises calm down. So the fears, the chaos, the stories calm down into stories that come in every now and then and tell you all sorts of different things. And then you can smile. Hello, old friend. What are you telling me? No, don't be silly. Yeah. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're fine.
Yeah. Bye.
but thank you. Bye-bye. And you sound crazy mad, you know, but and then everybody walks away and makes sense. Anyway, my love to you.
Thanks, Lee.
We'll speak again. Love and light, fam.
Thank you. Bye.